What's up, Capoeira Nation? Welcome back to the Capoeira Experience Podcast, your favorite podcast. I just want to say thank you so much to the Capoeira community for your support. Very, very happy to have this awesome support from everybody, from you that are listening to this, for this awesome support from the community. My goal, my biggest goal for this, and my only goal for this podcast is to create bridges to bring us as a community closer, to bring us closer, get us stronger as a community in general. Doesn't matter group, doesn't matter your capoeira style. If you do capoeira, we are part of one huge community. So on this episode, the one that you're about to listen, I got the awesome opportunity to interview Semparar, Portuguese, from Capoeira Chicago. She's a student from Contra Mestre Bamboo, an awesome and really good friend capoeirista. So make sure you follow the Capoeira Experience Podcast. This podcast is for you. Make sure you subscribe in the YouTube channel for free content and capoeirista's awesome stories. It's awesome. This is for you. Thank you so much. Let's roll. Make sure you listen, comment, like, share, like it. Everything. Let's go. Boom. What's up, Capoeira Nation? Welcome back to the Capoeira Experience Podcast, where we all get together, our Capoeira community. We're gonna make this Capoeira community closer and stronger, thanks to all the Capoeira community support, and thank you so much for listening to all the episodes. And today, we are going to continue the female Capoeira series, which I promised, and we're going to talk about taking care of our body and how it helps our Capoeira, how can help develop better Capoeira and better habits. For this, I will have the help of a female capoeirista. She started back in 2016, and since then, she saw that Capoeira was way beyond just an activity. And I just want to introduce you, my guest, Semparar from Capoeira Chicago. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How about you?
Pretty good. Pretty excited. Finally, we made it work.
I know. Took a while. Glad to be here.
Yes. Nice. So, I saw. I remember you told me that you are personal training, right? You're a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, since then, when you started the personal training stuff?
I've officially been a personal trainer for about a year, but I've
Nice.
kind of working as like in the industry for the last probably 3 years.
Oh,
So
that's
kind of
awesome.
since the same time that I started training capoeira.
Oh, cool. And do you are you like officially like full-time personal trainer?
I was until recently. Now I'm a fitness director, so basically like the operations manager of a gym, and then I do training, and I'm a teacher of classes as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Also, you like full-time into the fitness in pretty
Yeah,
much.
full time in the industry.
That's awesome. Do you like it?
I do.
Yeah.
It was kind of it took me a while to get there. It was kind of a roundabout way. Like I have a degree in a different field, but I've
Okay.
always been an athlete. I grew up as an athlete and a dancer. And so this just eventually made sense for me because it was in line with my interests, with my passions, with my background. So
Yeah, nice. So you've been like pretty much active since when?
since as long as I can remember, pretty
Oh, that's
much.
awesome.
Yeah.
And so you started capoeira in 2016, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit more about like your capoeira story, how you started until now. You can start however you want.
Okay. Yeah, I had just moved to Vancouver, BC,
Nice.
and I was looking for ways to kind of connect with the community there and do things that were in line with my lifestyle. So I was looking for just different classes that I could take, in all different kinds of movements. So dance and parkour and all these different things.
Oh,
I was just
nice.
dabbling. And I happened to move just down the street from the Ashe Academy there, and my roommate was going. So I ended up going to a beginner's course, kind of just didn't really think too much of it, didn't really know anything going into it. And
Yeah,
yeah, next thing I know, I'm here. It's become my lifestyle and hopefully will continue to be for as long as I can see into the future.
that's awesome. Who was your free instructor at the moment? Who taught you like Ginga and all stuff?
Contramestre also duro.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
he had just kind of stepped in to take over the academy there. So he was my first teacher.
That's awesome. Who are the like? So I remember, I could be wrong. I don't know too much about the history of how Ashe Capoeira developed and all that. Uh, did like Mr. Bahawan started in Vancouver, right?
Yes, he was before I was there, but he started that, and then his sons took over. So I came in kind
Nice.
of at that point.
Oh, so he's taking care of everything in Vancouver pretty much. He's
Contramestre,
Bajoncinho, né? Right?
Mastrando Bajosinho, yeah,
Oh, that's
exactly.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I follow him on his fights and all stuff.
yeah,
He's awesome. He's
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't know like how lucky I was, when I first fell into it, because I didn't know anything about like anyone. But now I can see like how lucky I've been to have the teachers that I have had. So
nice, nice. No, I been fan like almost like big fan of all the Ashe Capoeira like generations. And one of my second CD was actually Mr. Bahamas.
okay,
My second CD when I was probably like, I don't know, probably like 2 years after I started Capoeira.
okay, nice.
Yeah, yeah. I always follow Mr. Bahan. And
Yeah.
now so what are your social medias? How people can find you and all the stuff.
I have an Instagram. It's Ashe Semparar with an
Nice.
underscore between the two, and then my name is Taylor Perrin, and that's my Facebook. So those are two ways. I also have my own website, which is more for like my training stuff.
Oh, okay, okay. Do you have the website for the training or just
Yeah,
directly
website
from?
is just my name. It's taylorperrin.com, and that's just like where people can find. I've done a video course for basics of
Cool.
like, different kinds of mobility work and locomotive work, and then I also take online and remote coaching clients.
Oh, that's awesome. And they can find all those stuff through the website.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, cool. I'll pull some that all the information somewhere in the
Okay. Thank you.
that down and the blog so people can find it.
Perfect.
Yeah, yes. And then so now since you've been around the movement and fitness and pretty much like taking you always take care of your body, right? Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I'm sorry.
I said most of the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nobody's
Well,
perfect.
at least we try. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And how do you think, from your own perspective, how important is taking care of our body? You know, like as an athlete, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I think capoeira is so unique
Yeah,
because
yeah,
if you're really doing it as a lifestyle, it's so high impact and it demands so much of you, right? More than anything else, because it's not like a team sport where we have a game that we're practicing for at any specific time. I mean, there's the hoda, but there's like a continuous level of training that's required if you
yeah.
want to progress, and it's a level of intensity that you have to create. So, um, especially for me, starting later on, like I started at 25,
Oh,
different than
cool.
starting when you're like 5, right? And you can kind of ingrain
Yeah.
those habits. I think that for me has kind of shaped the way that I look at my training, and I've realized that it's very important to mitigate injury because I want to be able to continue training forever, and so I
Yes.
can't be short-sighted. And that's what I see for all of my peers as well as people who have a lot of willpower and a lot of motivation and drive to just kind of keep pushing until they make it happen. But it can come at the cost of our health, which can be more short-sighted, and then like we have to
Yes.
kind of backtrack and deal with our injuries later on. So I think if we
Yeah.
can kind of see that and kind of be more preventative, then we can have a better time with capoeira as we continue forward.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Especially when, like us, when we're younger, we don't care too much, and we
Right.
just jump around and we twist the ankle, and we like I don't care. But older you get, is more stuff that we gotta watch. So,
Exactly.
yeah, because we it's gonna be a point that we don't recover as fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and
And capoeira,
so
we're
go
doing
ahead, go ahead.
so much different stuff, right? It's like
Yeah,
it's not so linear as other things might be. Like people can be very strong in the gym, but it's a lot
yes,
more of a sterile environment. You can really predict what's going to happen, right? You're going up and down in a squat, and it's like you're moving in this very specific way. With capoeira, there's so many different elements that you
yes.
never know what's going to happen, right? Because you're doing acrobatics, and then someone else is involved, so it's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, yeah, and you work completely different muscles that you're not gonna work out. You don't find it at the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like doesn't matter because I've seen like big guys, like
Yeah.
gym guys, that they do capoeira and the next day my legs are super sore. It's like because
Right.
you work different, like you work different angle, like you said.
Right. I mean, and then beyond the strength thing too, is the coordination, it's the body awareness, right? Someone
Yeah,
can be very strong and they know how to push themselves in one way, but a lot of people who would consider themselves very athletic, or even myself, coming from an athletic background, starting with capoeira, it's just you cannot prepare for capoeira with anything besides capoeira, right?
correct. Yeah, yes. You always have to be doing something else.
Yeah.
So you good at capoeira, and by good I don't mean like you have to do 20,000 backflips or anything. It's like you have to be good on with your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always see the capoeira community that or it's like lower back pain or it's like knee pain or shoulder pains. It's always like certain specific spots that we are always pain.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that I was just telling someone the other day, something that I really appreciate. So, coming from the fitness background, there's a lot of like X, Y, and Z. You have to do A to B to C, and it's all very like regimented, like you're not able to do that until you can do all of this. And
Yeah,
capoeira is, the mindset is different. People are like, you just do it. You come into your first class, you're going to do AU, and it's not a
yeah,
big deal. Whereas, like, for everyone outside of capoeira, that might be a very big deal to even think about doing a cartwheel, right? And so I think that's a benefit of capoeira is that it
yeah.
just pushes us all to expand our potential and push our edges. But that can lead to those things if we're not prepared for the injuries, or just that again kind of comes back to like how can we be safeguarding our bodies? How can we be fueling ourselves with good food, getting a lot of
For sure.
sleep because we are athletes, so we need to recover. Because most of us, a lot of people are working a job, living a life, maybe they have families, and then they're doing capoeira as well. So how
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
balance all of those things and still recover like an athlete and understand that you are because you're doing capoeira?
Pretty much, yeah. Especially if like those people that they love training
Yeah,
3 4 times a week. For sure, food and recovery is so important.
yeah,
Yeah, and stretching because like
yeah.
we need to stretch because sometimes I'm I have to get into the habit because I like doing all the kicks and all stuff and then I'm like, oh man, this muscle is kind of like tight.
Well, yeah, it's hard for us too because like it seems kind of boring a lot of the times, right? We're used to this like
Yeah,
really exciting stuff. Capoeira is so exciting. There's so much to do. We love it. We want to skip past all of the stuff that seems a little more boring and maybe we don't realize that we need it until it's too late, right? Until something happened to us.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Or
yeah,
like we
like
said, if we were younger, we could get away with more, but now we can't get away with the same stuff.
you like just stay sore for like 3 4 days and you're like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Yeah, and how do you think is like really good way to for capoeirita to prevent all those uh lower back pain, knee pain, shoulder pains, like at least to prevent them?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to depend on every person, right? But I do think,
Sure.
the stuff that seems the most basic and kind of, and might seem the most boring, it ends up being like what really will make us be able to do the things that we want to do. So it is obviously things we all know, but maybe still don't do, which is like probably we should all sleep at least 8 hours a night. I
Yeah.
don't usually, but it would be great, right? Because we need we need that eating good food. And then I think, yeah, finding a way, if you don't train, if you like go to class for most of your training and there's not a lot of a warm up, making sure that you get there early so that you can do the warm up that you need, which is kind of going to depend on what your previous injuries are, how your body's feeling that day, just kind of like what your
Sure.
levels of mobility are. Um, I specialize in joint conditioning, like in my
Oh,
first
that's awesome.
and I kind of got really into that because I've started to experience injuries, because I've known people who've experienced a lot of injuries.
Oh,
Either they just learn how to live with the pain, but like
yeah,
sometimes we have a very high pain tolerance as athletes, and so people will
yeah,
just kind of live with it because they want to keep pushing on. They don't want to take time off. Um,
yeah.
so I've been really interested in kind of diving into that and learning how can we do the boring stuff so that we can do the more exciting stuff that we want to do.
That's
I'm a
awesome.
big advocate for that kind of thing, which is just like really working to expand your joint ranges of motion so that
Yeah,
you can then do the things that you want to do with your body.
that's awesome. Because especially like we as a capoeiristas, we get very high impact on our joints, like
Yeah.
lower back, hips, shoulders. And if a person like out there is listening to this and just like scan your body and be like, okay, this is kind of like painful on this side. I think this is a joint. and then they can like find those videos online if they can.
Exactly. Yeah, the system that I've been studying under has shown like that what got me into it was that they kind of work with a lot of athletes, a lot of high impact athletes, and they've had these really great success stories with people who've, the guy who created the system, he tore his MCL at like around age 40 and he was still able to squat within a couple of months after
Oh wow,
surgery because he did joint conditioning, right? So it is
that's
really
awesome.
just taking a little bit of time every day to kind of do the things that you know are good for you, like thinking for your future self.
Yeah, yeah, especially now that 'cause we were still younger,
Yeah.
but I want to still I want to keep playing capoeira here like when I'm 50, 60.
Yeah.
And this is the time for us or like whoever is listening to take care of the body, like don't wait until like it's too painful and you like, okay, yeah, it's too late.
Exactly. Yeah, don't wait until it's too late. And that's easier said than done, right? Because
True,
we
true,
all have a lot of demands on our time. So if something
true.
doesn't seem urgent, it's going to be really hard for us to prioritize it, but it's going to be
That's
really
true.
worth it if we can.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Especially like watching your food, stretching after class, like all the
Yeah,
things that you just said. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, that's awesome. Now, both lifestyle, which is the fitness, like gym, teaching classes, and all that, in capoeira, probably the last, I don't know, what do you think about the last 5 years? Is like woman is stepping up a little bit more, like
When
woman, yeah, yeah, yeah. So then, in the fitness industry, on the lifestyle, the fitness lifestyle, is always been like very man dominant.
Mhm.
Same with capoeira. Capoeira was like very dominant on men. I would say I think probably the last decade is being very like the female is being stepping up a little bit more. What do you think? What do you think? What is your perspective on that? Since you have been stepping on both.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and I'm still within that window in both, right? So only within the last 3 years for me. So there's a lot that I probably haven't seen because I haven't been
Yeah.
able to see it over all of that time. Um, but I do see that like women are, and as a trainer, I've worked primarily with women, so that's been really
Nice.
interesting. Like I haven't been exclusive, but that's just been who has sought me out, and it's been really great for me to be able to work with women who realize that there is merit to being strong. It's not all about being skinny. Things are not all
Yeah.
about aesthetics, right? Because at least speaking from where I am, which is in Western society in the United States,
Yeah.
right? We've all been fed a lot of ideas about gender norms, even though people are starting to break out of that. But women
True.
still have this very ingrained idea that we need to look a certain way, behave a certain way. And
True.
so it's constantly rewriting that, and having girls come to me and say, I want to get stronger, but I don't want to look like a guy.
Mostly, yeah, yeah. That's yeah.
And then them starting in the really fulfilling thing in that realm for me being able to say, well, like, that's not going to happen. It would take quite a lot for that to ever happen. And
Yeah.
then to work with them and them seeing for themselves, like, wow, I feel really good when I'm strong, when I can do things for myself. Um, I feel better in my body. I actually look better because I'm stronger. These things are not mutually exclusive. And so
Yeah.
that's cool to see it at least on a localized level with each person that I've worked with. So I see that, and then I do see a lot of women coming to the forefront in the strength sports and all these places. And then in Capoeira as well, I just know that from my personal experience, I love connecting with women
That's
around
awesome.
the world and staying in touch with them and feeling that we have the sense of solidarity being in a sport or an art that is a little bit more male dominated.
Correct, correct. Yeah, because since I've seen and I heard stories of capoeiristas, like female capoeiristas. Like I said on my episode before where I was talking to my wife, I was telling her that Mestra Francesinha, when I went to Brazil, she told us that woman was like come on man, like I'm gonna go to the hall. I don't care. And they had like those big ass dresses on, like 1800s dresses, and then they used to like tie the dress, like bringing all the way up, tied it up to each leg, and just go playing the harder with guys. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, I never heard that before. And I think that's awesome. Like I see women today's day playing with men. Like, come on, you know what I mean? It's like now let's play equal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me it's very impactful because I grew up with being fed the narrative that I couldn't do as much because I was a girl. right?
Yeah,
And that I was supposed to do certain things, but I wouldn't be able to do other things. So for me, it's been very also like a part of me that just has always been driven by that and wanting to show
yeah,
that I can do those things too, right? I don't need someone else's help. Of course,
yeah,
I think Capoeira is all about having a teacher, but just like in the sense of I can motivate myself to participate in this, and
yeah,
it can be equal.
yeah. And I always say like capoeira was created to bring people together. You know, like those is people in general. It's not like okay, it's just the guys and the girls. It's just like people together. You know, like it's for the Hoda to have that energy and that energy move everybody.
Right, and I feel like it feels different in a class or in a roda if there are women there than if, well, I guess I wouldn't know because I wasn't there. There's no women, but like I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
that brings a different energy to a space as well to have both, right?
Oh
Men
yeah,
and
oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I've seen women singing, playing beating balls, and bringing that energy. It's just like nurturing, you know. Like you need those two energies to be
right,
there. Yeah,
exactly.
so I think it's awesome. And unfortunately, society conditions both sides to be a certain way. Like you know, like you have to be this way, or you have to walk this way. You have to be like a pattern, you know. But like you said, like I'm very happy that everybody's like you know, like I have my own personality. Like the
Yeah.
heck, man, you know, like I wanna be me, you know.
Right, we can be walking in our own way and kind of figuring out what that
Yeah, yeah,
means, but also
yeah, yeah.
learning how to work as a community. So I think it's a time for
Correct.
us all to learn how we work in these spaces together and what it means to have men and women in these spaces, right? And I
Oh
love
yeah, for sure.
doing the female series for that
Oh,
reason.
nice, nice. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause like before I went to Brazil, I was like, I need more females in the episodes. You know, like I wanna see all the perspectives. Doesn't matter group, doesn't matter capoeira style, and it's capoeira.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Brazil, I heard Mr. Francesinha saying like, yeah, you know, like at that time was really hard for women to like even play in the hall. I was like, I think that's a sign. Then I was like, man, that's pretty cool. And I was talking to her, and she was it's a huge book of knowledge about like woman and the history of woman inside capoeira.
Right. I mean, a lot. It seems like a lot in capoeira, but also just in society has changed for women and for
Oh yeah,
for everyone. It's all moving so quickly over time, right? A lot has happened in just the last like 50 years.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And it's beautiful how it's evolving. Like everybody is pretty much the same. You know, it's not like the like you men you go to work, you woman you stay at home. It was like you know like it's like I my mom raised me. You know, my mom was the woman, the dad, and the mom,
Hmm.
and I was like, you know, like I have to walk straight because my mom was like, "Come on, dude, like him in the head, like don't do that," you know. And it's like, but it's awesome to have that figure, strong female figure, you know.
Strong female figure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think seeing maestras talking about those kind of stuff and see they which actually Mr. Francisino also was talking about the or should a guy talk made the question of like should we call you is maestra or maestri, you know, like for example like teacher is not teacher or the female is just teacher, you know.
Yeah. Right.
Then she was like, well, on this time, and she said the day, you know, like he's like president or like presidenta, or he's like or like president, like presidente. And then she started like telling all the stuff, and then she was like, I like to be called, I like to her be maestra, you know, like, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's an interesting conversation to have. I mean, and I think it's nice. It's really great to hear about maestras, and women who've gotten to these ranks, and then they can kind of speak
Yeah,
to other women that are on the same path, or be an inspiration for that. And my
for sure,
eventual goal is to be able to teach younger women, girls, young girls, that they have a place in this as well. And
for
that they
sure.
can do these things that might feel hard and they might feel daunting,
Yeah,
might be
yeah, for sure.
representation of that farther down the line.
Yeah, yeah, and like bring others up, you know, and like be like, hey, you know, like do you play in the house? Hey, well, what
Yeah.
about this move? Try this move, you know.
Exactly, because I've had so many people, men and women, do that for me as well, right? So it's all about, and
That's awesome.
so much about giving back to the community and just learning and receiving and then being able to return that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm gonna ask you now, like, when's last time? How many times you play in the hall?
How many times have I played in the Holga?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your last class. You play a lot.
Oh, we had the Roda yesterday. We had like there was a Brazilian block party and we went there
Oh, that's
for
true.
Roda. Yes, and I played a few times, but I was on the
Cool.
instruments a lot of the time. So I
Oh, but
just
you at least you're in the instrument. You're passing that
yeah,
energy. Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, because yesterday, September 7th, was the Brazilian Independence Day.
exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Also, you guys just had the batches out not long ago, right?
We had the Basilio, yes, I guess a month-ish ago. Yeah.
Wow, it's already a month ago.
Right?
Wow, that's
Something like
fast. Wow,
that.
yeah, that's really fast.
I know.
Congratulations to your new core.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Is that like a specific graduation for that one? Or like,
Still just a student, so I'm
yeah,
ASU, which is technically the second official belt because we have 3 tiers to each belt.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that I remember I was talking to Bamboo, and I was like, man, I wish I can make it, but I'm gonna be just like right coming back is when the
Right.
ice. And I was like, man, Mr. Wahan was there. I was like a all fan. I like, oh my God, Mr. Wahan.
Next time, there will be more.
Yes, 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 yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure he's coming back next year.
Yeah. There's always.
Yes, yes. And what do you think? How woman can step up a little bit more in the capoeira part?
In capoeira, I think. I mean, I think it's again, it always comes back to the individual, just in
Yeah,
terms of kind of trying, capoeira, I think one of the great things is that it instills confidence in so many people, children and adults, right? And for men and women.
yeah,
Uh, and so I think really like using that and really kind of continuing. Part of it is that the capoeira gives you the confidence, but also like you have to create that for yourself, right? Capoeira, and I was just speaking with a friend, is so much about internal motivation. Like, yes, we learn from each other. Yes, we have our teachers, they give us so much, but you have to be motivated to make it happen and to progress, right? Because
for
I
sure.
remember when I first moved here last year, and Contramestre Bamboo told us one day in class, like, if you just, even if you come to class every day, if you're trying to progress, you're not going to be progressing as fast as you want because you need to be also training on your own, right? Because only
True.
your teacher knows what
Very,
you
very
need, but
true.
you know what you really need to work on. You need to put in the time, you need to put in the effort, and not depend on someone else to do that all for you.
For sure.
And so I think that goes for everyone, but maybe for women, that's a big thing, is to keep training on our own and to connect with other women in the, out there in our school. Instagram has been like a really good tool for women across countries, across groups, to be able to connect, to see other women and be inspired. Oh, that woman can do these acrobatics, like we
Yeah. Oh
don't
yeah.
seeing all these things, and that kind of keeps the fire lit, right? So because I
Yeah.
think events are really good for that, but we can kind of just get used to the normalcy of training day in and day out at the academy that we're used to. So we have to kind of expose ourselves to more things that keep us inspired and keep us like pushing forward.
Yeah, yeah. Especially right now, technology is
Yeah.
so awesome. Like you're in Chicago right now. I'm in Indiana right now,
Right.
and it's so cool. Like when I started in capoeira, we didn't have this technology. Like, okay, let me check what kind of capoeira is in China, and then it's all that beautiful, beautiful technology that can help us connect with different person, not different capoeira style, different group or anything.
It's amazing. I mean, and that's pretty much why I have Instagram, is just to follow capoeira accounts, like save things that I want to
Nice.
try, save a sequence, or just watch Haldas, watch people's
Yeah,
style, try to learn more. And yeah, the fact that you can see someone doing something from halfway across the world, or meet someone on there and have this connection before you go travel. So I've traveled to events and I've already been connected to people because they reached out beforehand, right? And that's like a really
yeah.
nice, just feeling more connected to the community, being able to maintain that. So you meet someone at an event and now you can stay in touch. It doesn't have to be that you wait until you see them the next time, right? Which is really special.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you can keep that friendship all the time there and make new friends too.
And yeah, I mean, like for me, I'm trying to learn Portuguese, right? As because we
Nice.
need to, and I want to, and having these kinds of things, like I'm learning in an online class, or I have friends who are
Oh,
also
cool.
learning in other group, like other states, and we can send voice messages to each other, practice,
Yeah, yeah.
and just have that, like have someone else who's in it with you, so you don't feel like it's just like this thing that you're doing on your own.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. It's like same thing, like capoeira brings people together and help each other. Like hey, like let's practice this. Like I have a chat with some friends where we always sing sequences. It's like okay, this sequence is just 3 moves. Let's who's gonna do it? Okay, yeah, and they will send the videos. Yeah, yeah, I did it. Look, what do you think? And then we just exchange information there. It's really cool, really cool.
Yeah,
I
because
love
you can get so much more inspiration and so many ideas from other people, right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah, and it's just awesome. I love technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what would you think is your advice for the female that is listening to this podcast?
My advice is to play in the hall as much as you can.
Nice, nice.
And you kind of use that as a metaphor, right? In
Yeah,
life, in capoeira, in all the contexts. I think just push yourself to do things that you are maybe scared to do but want to do, or would be things like I always think about things that scare you and excite you at the same time are usually the best things to do, right? Which is
nice.
like playing in the hall, though, which is whatever it is for you. Because you'll see that your growth is exponential, and you never know who else is watching or who else will be receiving the inspiration to kind of get that push as well.
Exactly, exactly. And if someone is listening and you know someone that needs that push, like hey, come on, let's go play in the hall. Let's go play together. Like
Yeah, and yeah,
help
reaching
each
out
other.
to people, right? Like
Yeah.
reaching out to people and trying to find allies in this as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or be like, hey, like I really like this move. Like that's awesome. Good job, stuff. Blah blah. Yeah, because sometimes I feel like it's social media, but we're not social. So it's kind of contradictory the whole concept.
Right, it's a double-edged sword. But I think
Yeah.
we can choose to use it for the most part as we wish, and in a way that's
Right.
productive and that does connect us, right? So, and it's all going to depend on who you are and how you are socially, how, what makes you feel comfortable. Yeah, but I think, yeah, reaching out, telling people that you appreciate them can start a conversation that you never know where it will go, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. And be new friends.
Yeah,
You don't know how long it can be.
exactly.
And now, what about an advice for people to understand their body and take care of their body? Well, what do you think? What would be your advice for them?
I think just for people generally, probably slowing down is usually the best advice, right? Especially as a capoeirista, if you're used to like moving very fast.
Yeah.
Um, that can mean anything. It could mean, like we talked about, taking, like you said, taking 20 minutes, even 10 a day to scan your body and just notice, like, do I feel aches and pains somewhere? Maybe
Yeah.
logging that, like depending on how you work, like having a journal of how you feel is really nice sometimes, or your training, and just noting. I used to journal, what was my training for the day, like, and then how did I feel? So I would just kind of
Nice.
try to correlate like my mental health or my energy levels with like how intense my training was, how I ate. There
That's
are
awesome.
apps
That's really cool.
which make it like a little bit easier. My friend has made an app which makes it super easy, so it's like the same thing as, but you don't have to write
Oh,
it down.
cool.
But
What's the
doing
name?
his app is called Metri Life. It's
Nice.
METRI Life, and I like it because it correlates physical, like it correlates physical stuff like stress levels, as well as how you ate, how much you slept, and then what your mental health is based on these questions that it asks you, and then it like syncs them together to kind of tell you what might be impacting what. And it's
Oh,
going to be different
cool.
for everybody, but it's nice because it really shows that your stress impacts your sleep, impacts your mood, and then you can kind of adjust over time. But even if you don't do that, just like, even if it's just more informal, just
Yeah,
checking
yeah.
with yourself and saying, okay, I felt that, so maybe I'm going to spend this much time. And I think being flexible with like, um, it's a hard balance, but sometimes it is worth, training a little bit less one day if it means that you're going to get more
Yeah,
sleep. And then you'll be able to train
yeah,
better the next day. So I think it's really kind of learning how to weigh those things for yourself and just trying to experiment on yourself and seeing what
yeah.
makes you feel best.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And don't eat too heavy before go to bed so you can take a nice
Yeah,
rest.
totally.
Yeah, less
Exactly.
alcohol.
Yep. Yeah, maybe less
Yeah.
alcohol, more water.
Water is so crazy. Like water is so important.
It's so important. Yeah, staying hydrated. Underestimated. And again,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
are all things that are so basic. I think we've all heard them so many times, we kind of tune it out, right? But it
Okay,
really makes
okay, yeah, yeah. More the same. You know what I mean?
and it's hard too because we all have so much going on in our day, every day, right?
True.
Like you wake up, you're tired, you go to work, then you go to training. Like it can all become a blur, especially if it's like very similar day in and day
Yeah,
out. So it can be hard to keep track of like,
true.
was it that made me feel this way, or why am I not training as intensely, or why do I feel more tired than I usually do?
Yes, especially if some capoeiristas out there they have kids.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't even know how people do
Like, oh my god.
it. I'm just trying to take care of myself here. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
funny.
that's a whole other thing too, right? Is if you have a family to take care of, but just finding, and especially for those people where they really do have a lot of demands on our time, because we all have busy lives.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
finding something to make you feel good every day, whatever that is. For some people, it's meditation. For some people, it's stretching. For some people, it's a phone call with a loved one. Even those things that don't seem related to capoeira specifically can really kind of put you in the right mindset, and that's gonna help your performance. It's gonna help you in the long run. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the last, so we can kind of like wrap it up because I know you probably busy too, right? So, what would be the advice? Let's say I'm I never been to the gym, I never work out, I just do capoeira. What would be your advice to do this kind of person?
A capoeirista who's trying to go to the gym for the first time.
Or just like to try to like get them into the mindset of like like it's good to take care of your body.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that you'll see for people, like for myself as an example, I had trained capoeira before I really started working out in the gym. And when I started working out in the gym, although it was kind of a means to an end, like I'm not super excited about just lifting weights all the time, I can see that when I became stronger, other moves were easier, right? So like
True.
things like arm balancing, if you want to do queda de rins or like
Oh,
bananeira
that's
or something, you want some upper body strength. So having that is going to help you, and lifting weights can help you with that, right? Even though it's not the same thing, it develops the muscles. And like you said, there are going to be specific stabilizing muscles that you need
yeah,
in capoeira, but you can get the big muscles stronger, and it's going to make everything in capoeira easier. So I mean,
correct.
there are ways to kind of program yourself in a gym. There's tons of information out there. Obviously, there's bad information and good information, but you can spend a little bit of time or kind of reach out to someone that maybe who you train capoeira with, that does go to the gym, and ask them to go with you so they can show you a good technique. You
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
really need
exactly.
too much variety, right? You can just kind of get a full body routine, start
Even if
going
it's
two
just
days a
super
week.
basic.
Exactly. It doesn't need to be crazy, right? Because we're not trying to win any competitions in the gym. We're
Correct.
just trying to get
Yeah,
our muscles to be stronger, get used to pushing. And it's nice because the mental component of the gym is parallel to capoeira, right? It's like understanding how to push yourself through things that are uncomfortable or maybe not that fun, right? But in the long run, you can see the rewards. So I think you can see the utility of it. It might not feel that exciting compared to capoeira if you're like not just super excited to pick things
yeah,
up, put them down over and over, but you can start to see, okay, I maybe give it a month of 2 days a week with a basic routine and see how you feel. See if capoeira does feel easier, and kind of go from there.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And even like I said, like something super basic as a push-ups that
Yeah,
can help so much for handstands, cartwheels, macacos.
yeah. It doesn't take anything crazy. It doesn't need to be
Yeah,
super crazy. And it doesn't have to take a gym. A gym helps. It expedites the process, but you can do stuff
yeah,
body weight too, right? So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, even if it's just like get up of the bed, do like start with 3 push-ups.
right. 3 push-ups, 10 squats, things
Yeah,
throughout the day, whatever.
and yeah, and then go shower and then start your day, and then the next day until you get into that routine and you just get used to it. And then okay, let me join a gym. I'm serious. I
Right.
need a more challenge.
Exactly. It's making a micro habit. So like you said, it's doing something that feels so easy, you wouldn't not do it. So 3 push-ups
Yeah,
a day, anyone can do that, even if it's on your knees, right? Even if it
yeah,
feels hard, but it's not going to take much time. So it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
there's never the excuse of time, not having enough time. It's just what is your priority. And it's just
Correct.
understanding why that needs to be a part of your priority. So yeah, starts with 3 push-ups, the next week it's 4, the next week it's 5, you get into a routine, and next thing you know, it
Exactly.
becomes second nature, as with anything, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. When you see you benching 200 pounds or something like
Well,
that.
yeah. Right, but
Just
that's
kidding.
something that I do with my clients is
Yeah.
we have a habit each month for movement, for nutrition, and for recovery. And I make them choose something that's pretty basic, but something they haven't been doing and they would like to be doing, right? So it could be, I drink a cup more water every day because I'm trying to
True.
drink more water. and I do 10 minutes of foam rolling or 10 minutes of stretching before I go to bed, or some sort of stress relief thing, and then I do 10 push-ups or whatever it is. And you do that for a month. And then once you've done it for a month, you maybe do it for another month. You check in with yourself, kind of keep yourself accountable or have someone else there with you.
Yeah.
And then eventually it becomes something that you don't have to think about. It's just a part of what you do.
Yeah, and 2-3 months, you never know, you can be doing like already like 10 push-ups instead of 3.
You really can, especially because when you start as a beginner with these things, you have such a high, like you can peak very fast because you come from a very low baseline. So it's actually the most exciting time for any strength training. And that's what I really try to instill in people is that when you're coming from like nothing, you just like spike straight up, right? So if you really train consistently, you'll see that you go with exponential growth. It actually gets much harder once you've reached closer to your peak of strength. That's when you have to make incremental gains, right? That's where you're putting 2 pounds on your bench instead of like 10 at a time, right? Or whatever.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, and is I love to see that progress. That's why I like to teach. Because I like to see that little progress, and you see that big smile, like I did it, like it's awesome.
Totally. That's what keeps us going, is seeing a little bit of progress in it. Just a little bit, over time, it adds up.
Yeah, exactly. And what are your social medias again in your website?
So my website is my name, is www.taylorperrin.com, and my Facebook is my name as well, Taylor Perrin, and then my Instagram is Ashe Semparar with the underscore.
Underscore. So Ashe _Semparar.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was really, really nice picking your brain, like taking some nice information, just in general about capoeira and fitness and lifestyle and woman and everything.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I'm excited to see all the other women that you interview as well and see how this goes. I love that you're doing this for the community, so thank you.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon, and I hope you have a good night, okay?
Okay, you too. Obrigado.
Hey, I hope you like this video and you like this interview as I did. Please turn those notifications on. Please subscribe and comment down below your thoughts and any question you have for any capoeirist in the world. If you have one question, what it will be? Please share with your friends, share with everyone in the capoeira community. Let them know the Capoeira Podcast experience is open for everyone. It doesn't matter group, doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter the planet, doesn't matter the earth. If you're from Mars, but you do capoeira, I'm going to have you here. Okay, let's share this experience so awesome that capoeira give us. Okay, please comment down below, let us know what you think. Peace.